So the biggest news today was a brand new anime adaptation from Magic Knight Rayearth by Clamp. So I don't think there's anything particularly surprising about this announcement because this is technically in Japan a very popular series from a group of very popular authors, Clamp, who did a lot of stuff like Capcaptor Sakura, the original character design in Code Geass, Holic, Tsubasa Chronicle, etc. Tokyo Babel, which was supposed to get an anime too, but it got cancelled. It was Gohan's, like they got into trouble for tracing designs. So yeah, I don't think it's not a particularly surprising announcement. And there was a trailer as well, but we're not going to watch the trailer because it's simply showing pictures of the manga and pictures of the first anime adaptation. The only thing actually new is this key visual, where you can see the protagonists Umi, Fu, and Hikaru. It's not particularly. They didn't specifically say this will be a remake, but it's very extremely likely to be a remake, seeing this is just what Rayearth looks like. So we also don't know yet if this is going to be a TV series or movies, and we don't have any information on the staff and cast either. One thing interesting is that the cast recently voiced the characters again with Super Botros T and Super Botros 30, so it's likely the cast will be coming back, or maybe the casts will be changed, we don't know yet. And another interesting thing I've seen on Twitter is I've seen many people say they discovered Rayearth with Super Botwas, which was pretty heartwarming. Like, of course, Twitter isn't an accurate reflection of reality, but it was pretty cool to see people saying they still discover older series thanks to Super Botwas, which is something I'm doing myself as well for 20 years. Like, the stone of series, of meta series that became some of my favorite things ever thanks to seeing them in Super Robot Tyson first, just like the Common Blade is a good example when I've seen it in J and W. So yeah, I'm quite excited for this new project, even though it's a remake, so I'm kinda cautious as well. It's probably a remake, so I'm kinda cautious as well. And yeah, very exciting news today. More details will be revealed at a later date, right? And it's also interesting to note that the Rayearth Twitter account made an English tweet, so they know their audience, they know that there are boomers like us, anime boomers like us, who really like Magic Knight Rayearth and are looking forward to this stuff. So it's pretty interesting to see they made a tweet in Japanese and a tweet in English to announce this. And speaking of Super Botras, you have Terada Takanobu, the supervisor of the series, who was tweeting about Rayearth when he saw that everything was trending, like Super Botras was trending, Slayers and Rayearth was trending. So he talked about it. He mentioned that Ito Mihoi, the character designer of the original characters for J and for G, Super Botras D and J, did the cut-in animations for the Rayearth characters in Super Botwas T and 30, which is pretty cool and pretty interesting. And moreover, what's interesting is that if you looked on Twitter, because in Japanese, Rayearth, Slayers, Rayearth, they sound similar and they are written very similarly. So funnily, because of the Rayearth anime remake announcement, you had Slayers trending as well, and Slayers kept trending as well, with people wondering maybe one day we're going to see a new Slayers anime as well. And Araizumi Ryu Sensei is the illustrator for Slayers. Since Slayers was trending, he shared these illustrations he made back for the Super Nintendo Slayers RPG game by Banpresto. This game is really interesting because just like the very first Slayers game on PC in 98, it was made before the first anime adaptation, so the designs are heavily similar to the original light novel rather than the anime. and which makes it very charming. Like you can really see Arazumi Sensei's straight. It was very funny because Terada said that back then he was already working at Banpresto, and one of his superiors was in charge of this game. So he remembers seeing these drawings 30 years ago, like 30 years ago when they were working on this game at Banpresto. It's very fun. I have some illustrations here. Slayers, if you don't know about it, is a fantasy series. It's one of my favorite series ever. It's extremely good, and I'm hoping that we get an anime sequel one day because the anime never adapted all of the novels, especially now, like since 2018, the novel has restarted too, so there's even more novels to adapt now. So I really hope there are going to be a new anime of Slayers at some day. So coming up next, we have the first real trailer for the Rosno Versailles Nobara movie remake that was announced around 2 years ago. It's the first real trailer revealing the cast and staff for the first time ever. And like, I'm not really feeling it for now. Like, we'll see how it goes, but like, I'm really not feeling it. In the first place, I've never been a big fan of anime remakes, but in this case, it's not even a point of whether this will be as good as the original, as the first anime adaptation or not, because, like, in the first place, there's no way it's going to be as good as what the Desaki Osamu's team did in the 80s, but, like, I'm kinda skeptical that we'd go. And since this is just a movie too, I'm really skeptical how the story would go. So I'm kind of curious. I want to watch it, but I'm not really sure. Also, like, I'm going to try to make a detailed article about this remake later on. So for now, I'm just keeping this short. Like, I'm interested as a huge fan of the first anime series because like it's one of the many anime that aired in France in the 80s, and I've watched re-airs in early 2000s. I've never read the original manga. I gotta read the manga one day. I heard a lot that it's quite different because in the manga, Oscar isn't the main character. She isn't the protagonist. So, like, this is a flashback, right? So it looks like some kind of flashback or something. So I'm not sure. Like, is they going to change the story or maybe rewrite things to make it fit in a single movie, I guess. The cast was also revealed. We have Sawashiro Miyuki voicing Oscar, who is one of my favorite seiyuu ever. I've been listening to her voice since Digikarato when she was voicing Pichiko when I was a kid, and she was still a kid as well, voicing Pichiko in Digikarato 25 years ago or something. So I'm pretty excited to hear her performance, but at the same time, like, I wish they would have tried to pick someone else and do some real auditions because Sawashiro-san is really used to this kind of like gender ambiguous and really cool roles, right? So it's a very big typecast to me. Like, this whole movie feels like a very safe bet, and this is how I often feel about anime remakes in general. Like, they often feel like they don't take risks, or it's very like, obviously all anime is made to make money, right? But for anime remakes especially, like, I wish I would have tried to be a little bit more bold. Like, as much as a huge fan of Hirano Aya and Sawashiro Miyuki I am, I wish I would have tried to do a little more bolder picks for the cast. Like, this is kind of boring to me, to be honest. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. So the next thing on the menu is today on July 2nd. It was the very first live stream for the brand new Madoka Magica Soshage, the brand new Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica gacha game, which is called Magia Exedra. And they did the very first live stream. It had, what was the name again? I brought it here. Asakura Momo, who is the seiyuu for the protagonist of Magia Record, the previous gacha game. And it had also Kato Emiri, the seiyuu for Kyubey. Kato Emiri also voiced Naru, the protagonist of Plagiarism Rainbow Life, which is one of my favorite series ever. Plagiarism best anime of the last decade. You should definitely watch it. And anyway, so it was the very first live stream, so they showed some trailers and gameplay for the first time. So first there was some story trailer, right? So let's go watch this.
ようこそ東大劇場へ歓迎するよ。
So yeah, this was a trailer, and in the live stream they explained the game a little bit. So they explained this is going to be a game which will regroup all of the spin-offs, like the characters from all the spin-offs and the main series will be appearing in Magia Exedra. You also have a brand new character, which is AQ, which is Cube but green. And this made me laugh a lot because it's kind of like when like when you're in middle school and you're making fanfics and like you make subquarters of the characters to make your own OC, and this is just like it. It's pretty funny. Like maybe the story will actually be good, but like this typically is kind of stuff that I have a really hard time taking seriously because it's just like when I was in primary school and everyone was watching Dragon Ball Z and like we were making our own Super Saiyan 5, Super Saiyan 10, and this kind of stuff. And this is just like this, like they made Cube with green, and this made me laugh a lot. And yeah, and during the stream they talked about this too, and there's also going to be some kind of mysterious girl called Namae, which is a name in Japanese, so a weird mysterious character. We don't know what her role will be. And I didn't watch all of the live stream because I don't have the time. And to be honest, like I really like Madoka Magica, but I'm not a big fan of the all the extended universe. Like I'm not particularly interested. And like some people will kill me for saying this, but like actually I never watched the movies because the original TV series was enough for me, and I like the ending. So I don't really see the point in a continuation, in a sequel, and maybe I'll watch it one day, but for now I've never been particularly interested. And as for the game itself, it looks really high value. It's going to be the very first 3D gacha game. In the past there used to be some console, like on PSP, I think. The very first Madoka Magica game was on PSP, I think, and it was in 3D, but like it was super cheap, and it was a dungeon crawler, right? This time, like the gaming market in Japan changed a lot since then, so all the biggest, highest value games are on mobile. This looks really quite appealing, so maybe I'll try it out. And I think it kind of looks like I'm not sure if they said what kind of game it will be yet. Like they didn't detail the gameplay yet, but I assume it will be very similar to a lot of RPGs with roles. Like each character has a different role, like breaker, healer, buffer, etc. Just like in Heaven Burns Red, or just like in the Atelier Gacha, Atelier Reslelia or something was the title. So yeah, that's what this. It looks really incredible.
たとえどんなに強い魔女が相手だったとしても、私は逃げない。最後まで一緒に戦って守ってみせる。今の私にはできることがあるんだ。よし、行こう。魔法少女マドカマギカマギアエクセドラ事前登録受付中。
So yeah, and they started opening the pre-registration as well. And yeah, if you look at like how the enemies are lined up, it's very likely to be some kind of RPG, turn-based RPG, with very similar to Heaven Burns Red, with every character having attacker, defender, healer, buffer roles, etc. Very turn-based. This was for Madoka. There was also a video with Iroha, the protagonist of Magia Record, right? She's the protagonist of the previous gacha game, which was closed. Now they're making this one. So let's watch this one as well.
違いかもしれないけど、妹を持って感じる胸のぬくもりは本物だと思えたんだ。この街を満たす物語が教えてくれた。未来を切り開く。魔法少女マドカマギカマギアエクセドラ。事前登録受付中。
So yeah, I assume each character will have different versions with different costumes, and like, yeah, very similar to Atelier Reseleria. What other examples you have? Aster Tataricus, I don't know if you've heard about this game, but it's also the kind of same thing. And yeah, I'm probably going to try it out at some point. You should follow the Twitter for more information. For now, they just say the game is going to release in 2024. Since they opened pre-registrations, usually when a gacha game opens its pre-registrations, this means like it's going to release quite soon, unless they run into really big development issues. So I think it will be launching like this summer. I think so. They didn't say summer yet, just 2024 this year, but I think like before the end of summer it will be released, I assume. So yeah, it's very high value. And by the way, this story trailer was made by Studio Shaft. With Studio Shaft, like, I'm not a Sakuga Buta, so I don't really know much about animators and stuff, but if I understood correctly, like, the studio pretty much doesn't exist in a sense. Like, it's just people getting together for some things and then spreading, and like, they got back like together to make the next movie, Warepurigis no Kaiten だったっけ? Warepurigis no Kaiten. This next movie, I forgot when it's going to release. But yeah, Shaft itself, like, I don't think like they do anything, right? So yeah, the game is pretty high value, so you can tell it's Aniplex, right? You can tell Aniplex is putting a lot of trust and money into this, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sadly, the live stream, I won't have the time to watch it because I've got tons of stuff I want to cover, tons of stuff on my plate. But yeah, it looks like a very interesting live stream. It's the kind of live stream, because it's the very first one, first they explained the history of the franchise and the history of the past games, especially Magia Record. They recapped the story for Magia Record and its events, etc. And then they kept talking together, Kato Emiri and what was her name, Momo-san. They kept talking together, and then they explained the game a bit. Every character from all the spin-offs will appear, etc. And then they showed the gameplay we've seen just now. And what else did they show? Yes. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you this too. They show the 3D models, the in-game 3D models. And this is just like in Heaven Burns Red, like, you have some really cool 3D models for every character. And they showed the idol pose from Madoka. It's really, really cute, right? Let me put this in HD. Oh, it's okay, it's already on. It's alright. Really cute idol pose, right? It's a very typical thing in this kind of games. Like, make very detailed 3D models and give them various poses and idol pose. And then they showed Iroha's models, and I want to show you this as well. Here. See, each character will have a 3D model and an illustration, just like in Heaven Burns Red. I think it's very inspired from that, because it's one of the most successful 3D turn-based RPGs nowadays. So I'm pretty sure they inspired themselves from that. And by the way, the developing studio, I think it said here. I'll check it out so some other day, maybe, if I make a detailed article. But anyway, You can see the 3D model for Iroha as well. It's very cute as well. See, very, very nice, right? Her cape is fluttering, right? So yeah, they often put a lot of details in these 3D models. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. I think there was nothing else major, right? Here they showed some of the witch worlds that shows up in the game. Some of the environments that will show up in the game. They say it's funny because it's supposed to be scary, but they find it cute. And some screenshots from in development screenshots. So the home screen, it looks like, if I zoom in, like it looks very similar to any gacha game, right? Party, gacha, shop, Tsugi no Nantoka. I don't see it. Maybe pastime, I think. Quest or union system, like very classic. And player match. You can do some PvP, I guess. It's probably automatic PvP in this case. So yeah, like you can see here, each character has a different element. So yeah, it's definitely turn-based RPG. See, turn-based RPG, we have different elements and different rules. It's exactly just like Heaven Burns Red, exactly just like the Atelier Gacha, and just like many turn-based gacha games nowadays, turn-based RPG on mobile. A very classic system. And you have the total battle power of your team, of your party. It's 5 people parties. You can switch, like I assume you can switch. There must be a back row, like this is front row and back row. And some like dungeon exploration. And there's an automat as well. So yeah, it's extremely classic gacha turn-based RPG they're making. So yeah, very exciting. Maybe I think I'll try it out at some point. Like, have the time to check it out a bit. And then they explain the portrait system. So it's very key points of the story that are made into portraits. So these are things you don't get through the gacha, but through playing the game and progressing through the story, you can get these pictures and these like key moments of the story. You can see various famous scenes from the scenario. All this stuff is from the original anime, right? Like this, like when Madoka's mom is teaching her. Like I really like this scene. Like I guess this is like before. This is mainly from the original anime, right? Well, these are things that you will get by progressing through the game and just playing the game. You will unlock these cool illustrations, brand new illustrations. This is not gacha related, so this is nice. While Magia Record is closing, they're still going to do some stuff for it, I guess. And I think that, oh yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to show. And at the end, they also announced they're going to make another event with most of the Madoka Magica Seiyu on August 25th, Magia Day 2024, to share more. This is the next time they will show more information on the game. So I assume that the game won't be released before that point, right? So you should expect like a September release, I guess, because at this event they will reveal some brand new information. So yeah, that's it for the Madoka Magica game. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it'll be good. It should be good. We'll see. Hopefully, like, it will be well balanced, gacha wise, etc. So let's move on now. And another thing I wanted to mention is that today there was also a live stream for the next Sword Art Online game adaptation, Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. And they announced the game will be released on October 3rd. To be honest, I'm not that interested. Like, I do like Sword Art Online, I do like SAO, but like, I stopped after Alicization, and I don't really care about the series since then. But I do think like it's better than most people give it credit for. I think it's better. It's much better than most people give it credit for. I think some arcs are much better than others as well. Like, I'm really not a fan of the GGO arc. But anyway, so I'm not gonna show you the live stream, and I'm not gonna show the trailer. If you're interested, you can watch it yourself. But one thing interesting is that just like every Sword Art Online game adaptation so far, this game will also have brand new original characters. So we have Fuka and Neige, and sadly they're NPCs, so they won't be playable, but maybe with an update later on they will make them into playable characters maybe. One reason, the major reason I want to talk about it is their seiyuu. So Neige, Fuka is Ueda Reina, Neige is Issei Maria. Issei Maria is really popular veteran. Like, she was the new voice of Killua in the latest Hunter x Hunter remake. She's Killua's new voice now. She did a lot of roles. Like, I don't really have them in mind right now. I could check her Wikipedia, but like, whatever. So if you look at Issei Maria's list of roles, recent cast, like, I'm not watching much airing anime these days, so I don't really know any of these characters. I guess she must be popular for Dungeon Meshi, I guess, since she's so popular. Like, personally, since 2016, I'm not watching a lot of airing anime, so I'm not quite familiar with most newer seiyuu, and I'm not familiar with a lot of airing anime because I mainly read manga, and most of the time when an anime gets announced, I'm already reading the manga anyway, so I don't watch it. This girl is pretty popular in Freeran, right? For example, Freeran, I'm going to watch the manga, I'm not gonna watch anime. So yeah, Issei Maria is quite popular. It's quite cool that they picked her to voice an SEO character. Oh, she was a crazy girl in Kakegurui, so I really like her. Akebi-chan no Seirafuku. I used to read this manga like 10 years ago. I wrote about it on my old blog, like back when it just started. It was like 6-7 years ago. Yeah, she did a lot of pretty popular roles, right? And in particular, so it's interesting because Fuka, I guess they call her Fuka as in snow flower or something, and Neige is snow in French. Snow in French. So both of their names are like snow themed, which I guess will be maybe something related to their scenario or something. I'm not gonna translate their bio because I don't really care, but basically she's a test player for the new game where the story of Fractured Daydream takes place. This is an AI. She's a support AI, just like Yui. Yui, the fairy, the Kirito and Asuna's daughter. So it's pretty interesting that they picked Ueda Reina because Ueda Reina is one of my favorite new seiyuu ever when it comes to the newer generation. Well, she's already voicing like for like 10 years now. And it's pretty funny because most people know her for Ganyu in Genshin, right? Because Genshin is incredibly popular and Ganyu is one of the most popular characters in the game by far. Like, if you look at fan art and cosplay, like, everyone is always picking Ganyu, so Ueda Reina, it got really extremely popular thanks to that. She's going to voice that girl in Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man, I also never read it yet. Maybe I will one day, I'm not sure. But anyway, Ueda Reina, I'm really happy that she's so popular now because she voiced Rose in the new Code Geass, also new to shit maybe. Ueda Reina, like 10 years ago, 9 years ago in Puripara Season 2. She was voicing Kiki Ajimi Sensei, which is an incredible character with an incredible performance. I genuinely think Ueda Reina with this role, with Ajimi. Let me scroll until I find her. So yeah, she was Akane in Gridman as well. I also need to watch this. I want to watch original live action series before watching the anime, even if they aren't particularly related. So yeah, in 2015, Ueda Reina, she voiced Ajimi in Puripara, which is an incredible role, like one of the best roles of the last decade by far, like by a huge margin. She does an extremely incredible, amazing, like it's incredible performance. It's one of those. Just her performance enough in season 2 of Prepara, it's enough to watch. It's an enough reason to watch the whole series. I still think she's one of the best series ever. One of the best series. I think she's my favorite when it comes to newcomers, like relatively newcomers, together with Fairu's Eye. And I think that's it. When it comes to female seiyuu, like I think she's the best newcomer. Well, not technically newcomer anymore because she's watching for like 10 years now. But yeah, Puripara, I should watch it. By the way, it's part of Pretty series, which also contains Prejurism, Puripara, Watch Up, Purimaji, Kirato Puri-chan, the new Himitsu no Ai Puri. So I should watch this one day, especially Prejurism. Prejurism, in my opinion, is the best anime of the last decade by far, so you should watch it. But yeah, that's the main reason why I wanted to talk about this character, because she's voiced by Ueda Reina, my favorite seiyuu of the last decade. So coming up next, I wanted to quickly talk about Romancing SaGa True Remake. I'm incredibly excited for this game. Like I haven't been this excited for a game since like the first time Rune Factory 5 was announced, back when Superbot was 30 was announced as well. Like I haven't been this excited for a game announcement in like 3 or 4 years. The official Japanese trailer for Romancing SaGa series, for the Saga series, has been sharing every day some short gameplay clips, and sadly, the English promotion is falling behind. Like it's often the case when it comes to Japanese games like this. You have a lot of Japanese promotion, but in other languages, in English, you don't really have anything. So every day they're showing short clips of the game, introducing the characters and the seiyuu. So today they're introducing some of the soldier class, right, that you can recruit in the castle right from the beginning of the game. This is such an incredible game. You have tons of people you can recruit. One thing I wanted to say is, because it's going to be fully voiced, I wonder if because one interesting thing about the original is that every character has a replacement. Basically, when they die, they cycle into a swap core, which is pretty much the same character with the same abilities but slightly different. And once there's like 5 or 6 of them, and once the last one dies, it cycles back and the first one comes back. And I wonder if they will if all swap coders of the same character will have the same seiyuu, or if they actually picked different seiyus for each character, or maybe they're going to remove the swap coders character entirely. So I'm not sure how it's going to go. When I have the time, I want to do a really in-depth article with translations for everything they revealed so far, and talk about why it's such an amazing game and why I'm so excited to try it out. So yeah, let's check this out.
どのようなさじでもお申し付けください。
どんなに優れた武器であっても使い手の技術が伴っていなければ進化を発揮することはできません。修行を怠りなく。
So yeah, and for most characters in the game, you also have a male and a female version as well. So it depends on the class, and it's really interesting because with the reincarnation system, like you need to get a lot of different people as possible to increase the various skills and weapon mastery of your emperor. So, but yeah, I'm going to try to detail all that in a specific article. So I just wanted to nerd a little bit about this. And you should follow the official Saga series Japanese Twitter because every day they're showing some short clips like this. So yeah. And another very short news I wanted to talk about is that HoYoverse Konosphere, the studio doing Genshin, Honkai, Zenless Zone Zero, Star Rail, etc. Today these are bots that tracks trademarks recordings in Japan, and the Twitter bots reported that HoYoverse they recorded a new trademark called Hoshimi Heaven. There's also an English version called Astaweave Haven. So this is probably the name of a new game project or something they're doing. They will probably announce it like in a few months or something because by this point, like HoYoverse is a gigantic company and they have several mini studios inside themselves, each taking care of a single game with different producers. For example, there was an interview with the producer of Zenless Zone Zero recently, and you can tell like he has a very different point of view. Like each team has a very different way of working, as I feel, different philosophy of game design, etc., compared to the Genshin teams. So it's pretty interesting that even if it's the same company, like of course, like you have different groups who work differently. So yeah, I'm looking forward to like what kind of game this will be. What kind of game philosophy it will have, because for example Honkai Star Rail is, in my opinion, the developing team of Honkai Star Rail, they have like much better like philosophy than the Genshin team, and I do love Genshin, but for example I think Genshin team purposefully made it so you cannot skip text, for example, because they are very proud of the story, which is a good thing because the Genshin storyline, I think, is one of the best things about the game. But because of that, I think they are a bit prideful, and my theory is they purposefully didn't include a skipping text option because they really don't want people to skip it. I think I'm looking forward to like what kind of like ideological differences, if you can call it that, they will have with Hoshimi Heaven. The Hoshimi Heaven team will have compared to Genshin, Star Rail, and then Lesson Zero. And the Lesson Zero is releasing in a few days. I'm gonna try the game if I can, inshallah, but I'm not particularly interested either. Like, I'm not a big fan of the character design because I'm not a fan of SaGa gacha games characters design in the first place. Like, none of the characters look particularly appealing. They are way too much pandering. Like, I don't like being pandered to, so like you'll see. I'm so not a big fan of the animation. Like, all the movements are always like very, very fast, and like it's like the characters are stopping every second they move. It's kind of weird to me. Like, everyone is praising the animation, but personally I don't really like it. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this trademark. By the way, trademark bots, they update every Mondays. So yeah, I try to check every Mondays the bots if they have anything interesting. Some Twitter accounts also reshare them. So yeah, it's one of the habits I picked when I was a news writer. Hopefully I will find a new position soon and do some articles. The last thing I wanted to talk about is I've seen the announcement of this new ADV game. ADV games are what we usually call in English visual novels. It's called Iris Odyssey Pandora no Shoujo. It's going to release in 2025 summer. It's pretty interesting. Like the story itself, like doesn't look like anything particularly groundbreaking. It's taking place in Tokyo. It's about like just some magic users or something, and just some kind of inspector who is investigating magic related crimes. This girl and another girl who is looking for a brother, and they're going to meet. It's like girls meet the girl kind of story, I guess. One thing that really caught my attention is the art is really good looking, so that's why I'm interested why I'm talking about it, because it's a really niche thing. I think like most people won't even hear about it anytime soon. However, one thing that's kind of worries me is where is written? Oh, here. The press release explains that this is releasing on Steam for free. However, the story is divided into episodes, and in order to see the whole story, you would have to buy DLCs. The episodes, the story is cut into episodes, and each episode will be a paid DLC, basically. So yeah, so we don't know how much it will cost, and like will it be worth it? Is the story actually good, etc. So I'm not sure. It's going to be translated. It's going to release in English, Japanese, and Chinese on Steam. So I think the Steam page isn't out yet. Yeah, there's no Steam page yet. And there's a trailer, but it's not really showing anything. Like it's just the key visuals, so there's not really much point in watching the trailer. So yeah, it's called Iris Odyssey. You can watch it. I'm not really familiar with any of the staff working on the game, so I don't have anything in particular to say, besides that it looks really incredible, and I really like the character design, so that's the main reason why I wanna check it out. Iris Odyssey, Pandora no Shoujo. So yeah, I don't know any of these people, to be honest, so I don't really have anything to say. And yeah, it's going to release in summer. I was checking the kanji because I always mix up this kanji for summer and spring. Like I always have trouble. I'm never sure, so I was checking the kanji. So yeah, it's summer 2025. And yeah, and it has an art director. The art director is someone called. I took some notes. It's called someone called Kibi Dongo, who is apparently among the mangaka of this series called Murasaki. I've never heard about it, but apparently it's really, really well drawn. So maybe I'll check it out one day. And you have the art director, and you have the character designer. The character designer is an illustrator called what was her name? Yutsumoe-san. And their illustrations are really, really gorgeous. So, and you can tell, like, with the key visual, this looks really cool. So, we don't even know what kind of story it's gonna be. And plus, it's kind of a risky bet because the story will be divided into episodes you will have to buy. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I will keep an eye on this until it releases in summer next year, inshallah. I'll keep an eye on this. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. It's really nice to always see some small visual ADV games like this. I will try to talk about it again when I can. So yeah, I think that's it for this first edition of my news show, Fullmetal Fukumi no Otaku News. So yeah, it's just a test on a Sila prototype, so be sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna try to record these in the morning with some of my voice isn't so hoarse. And I guess for now I need to work on my transitions, on my mic and stuff. For now I'm just doing this like YOLO because I'm doing this like just on my free time, trying to spend all less time as possible on this. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do this nearly every day to keep track on some news stories I want to talk about. And for some specific news, for example, the Berubara remake, Lady Oscar remake, Romancing SaGa 2 remake, and maybe Ilias as well. I'm planning to do specific articles to go more in detail than in these videos. But yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and check out my coffee as well on my blog. See you later, bye bye.